Hello again, everybody. I'm very honoured to be sat here with Dr. Shiraz Khan. How are you, Shiraz?
I'm very well. How you doing, Nicki? You well?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me on a Friday morning at
It's
the end
no
of the
trouble.
week.
It's no trouble.
So yeah, many congrats on being part of the top 50. Very important year because it wasn't voted in the same way that it has been previous years. So how are you feeling about being in the top 50?
Yeah, I mean, with all these things, it's always an honor. Ultimately, it's just nice and considerate to be, advised or voted is not the right word, but put forward for such an accolade. I think with all these things, I mean, ultimately, we have to take everything with a pinch of salt nowadays. Everything that you do or don't do, whatever, it's good and it has its bad ramifications as well. But by and large, it's a very, very nice list to be part of, and I'm grateful to be on it. Really,
Brilliant, brilliant. So, Shiraz, these interviews are all about finding out more about you as your person, your driving forces, your values. You know, everybody in dentistry and other sectors have been up against it across COVID, and a lot of businesses have struggled. You know, a lot of individuals have had massive challenges. So what are your driving forces to keep you going and your business going?
you know, COVID has been equally eye-opening as it has been demanding, in the sense that let's not shadow away from, there's been a huge underlying issue with people losing lives, family members, all around the world. So this isn't something that we've ever really dealt with. So it's got its own, significant place in economy, in health, in everything. So first things first is we obviously went through lockdown. We were closed from, I think it's something like the 17th of March until the 4th or 6th of June. And that period of time was challenging for us all. It was challenging for practice owners. It was challenging for associates. It was perhaps less challenging for staff members, in the sense that they had furlough, which was quite honourable that they were able to get. But in essence, it really gives you a chance to stop and sit there and say to yourself, well, what am I doing here? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? What are my goals, and how am I going to achieve them? And that moment to stop, because you say we all set goals or targets, or some of us do, some of us don't, and you just set them as a matter of fact, as opposed to as an ambition sometimes, and because you're managing that amongst everything else. And when you get a chance to completely stop, you really question a lot of things in your life, don't you? You question, why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Why you what was important to you? Why would you consider doing X instead of Y? And I think that time of reflection was fantastic for us all. By all, with the same token, it wasn't fantastic that people were having significant health issues. But I mean that when you take it on a personal level, it's an opportunity for you to either sink or swim, isn't it?
It is.
And I think for me personally, I just took some time to understand what was important to me. I think it was really important to become adaptable to the situation, because no one had ever gone through it. And yeah, I mean, I don't ever get too upset or worried by challenges, because they're only there to make you better anyway. So when something like this does happen, you're working on a way to consistently improve yourself. And I mean, like I said, we the other thing that came to me was that we're incredibly privileged that our jobs will never really be, in the healthcare profession, they'll never really be under threat in that way. The entertainment industry, the tourism industry, lots of companies have had to, they've had to, well, basically just fall away because they couldn't keep up. And I think it was a moment of graciousness where you think, well, actually within the dental profession, we're really lucky as professionals to be able to still have a job. So it gives you a chance to really, really sit back and reflect on all these things, which is quite important, I think.
Absolutely. Going back to what you were saying about what you found what you really valued in life. What were those things? Were you able to actually drill down and think, actually, these are the things in my life that matter, and that's what I'm really going to focus on moving forwards?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm a very aspirationally driven individual. I'm setting myself goals and targets that almost seem not possible at the time, and that's something that really stimulates me, if I can call it that. And all of this time, it was all about the next hurdle, the next ambition, the next goal, the next achievement. And I just stopped through COVID, and I was like, time is the most precious thing. There's one thing that no one could get away from, is that we came into this world at some stage, we're not going to be here. So time is not indefinite, right? So time with family, I mean, when you say family, we couldn't exactly go to our parents or whatever at the time, but just time to think about those things, time to think about what's important for your own family, if you've got young ones or whatever, what's important to you, your spouse, brother, sister, whatever. So time was really the thing that came to me. That single word never meant more than during COVID, actually.
Absolutely. So as a human being, Shiraz, what are your values? You know, we've talked about driving forces, but I think often underlying driving forces are your core values as a human being. So what would those be?
So core values are really, really, I mean, they're ultimately driven by faith for me, which is really, really easy and simple. It's quite laid out. So, I mean, always remain honest to all of those that, you know, anyone around you, treat them how you'd expect to be treated. I really dislike deceit. I think that's an awful trait to have. So being completely honest is so important. I think another one is about really being grateful for where you are and what you've achieved and what you're going through. So again, the disadvantage of the aspirational personality type is that you achieve something, you don't even really give yourself the chance to say well done, and you're just on to the next, and you never really have that opportunity to and I wouldn't say bask in glory, because that sounds a bit self-obsessed, but you know, just give yourself a moment to say well done, chap, you're doing all right. You're still not where you need to be. The destination probably will never arrive, but you're not doing too bad. And then I suppose you know, I mean, give everyone the best of you that you can, be as an exemplary role model in whatever it is that you do as best as possible. And you know, have this moral compass to always try and support people, really, and remain honest at all times. That's really my moral compass.
Absolutely. Oh, that's brilliant. So if you know, if we could get into a time machine and fly 10 years into the future, where do you see yourself? You know, how would you like to influence our industry?
You know, it's funny, because probably about a year and a half ago, that was probably a very different place, actually. It was starting to be very, very common. Oh, well, in 10 years' time, you know, I hope to have grown my family further. I hope to. So I split it, for me personally, I split these types of questions into sort of professional, familial, academic, and then, you know, possibly financial as well. So I sort of break them into those 4 or 5 categories. And it would have been, you know, professional would have been like, well, be on the road to possibly considering my own practice. Academic was to probably have undertaken further education in things that, you know, I haven't done already. So I've done a master's in restorative, which is really, really helpful. It's fantastic. I'll probably start diversifying a little bit into other elements. Familial was to, you know, grow my family further and you know, ensuring that I've got protected time with my family. And financial, just to
sorry to interrupt, what children have you got?
To children, I've got a baby girl. 18
what's
months
her name?
Aya. She's
lovely.
Fantastic.
And how old is she?
She's 18 months old. 18 months old.
Gorgeous age.
Yeah. And you know, COVID, and I never mean this in a light term, couldn't have been at a better time, in the sense that I got time with my daughter. So on a completely selfish note, I got the chance to see her develop, to see her grow, support my wife. It was actually, it was a massive honor. I always say it was an honor, but I'm not being insensitive to the travesty that was going on elsewhere, you know.
Absolutely.
So that was where I stood with those things. Now I think it's am I so poised about having a dental practice? I don't know really. I've started to consider alternate paths of investment, really. as you can see behind me, it says Sculpt, which is a educational platform that I created, which we'll go into later probably, which is now being able to provide hands-on training, so physical training doing composite restorations from the comfort of their own homes. So we have a box that's sent out to delegates, and they tune in once a month through, a Zoom type platform, and they'll do a follow-on type thing with me. So we've got a 3D printed teeth and models and cavities pre-made in them, so they don't have to drill anything. It's literally just learning how to do the anatomy. So again, because of this time, it's the word time, isn't it? It's come back again. Because of the time, you're able to stop and say, no, this is where I'd probably want to try and explore at least.
Yeah, fantastic. So there's one thing, Shiraz, that people don't know about you. What is it?
That I've got 6 toes. No, I'm joking. I don't have 6 toes, man. I've been a competitive dancer, I assume is what you're talking about.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. You have?
Oh, right. I've been a competitive dancer for 11 years.
Oh my gosh, and what style?
It's breaking, actually, breaking. So I love spinning around and doing all that sort of stuff. Okay, so there's other news. So you might as well tell me what you were poaching on, Nicki, actually.
What do you mean?
No, you said there's something that people don't know about you.
Yeah, I just think it's quite interesting and entertaining to know something about.
Oh, I thought.
Don't already know.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought you were asking for something specific, and I was like,
no,
no, right.
Just something random that people don't know about you. But
yes.
I didn't know that about you, and I'm sure a lot of other people don't.
A lot of the people that might follow me on social probably know that, because I post it quite regularly.
Oh, right.
But for those that didn't know, well, there you go.
But what got you into that? Yeah. What got you into that?
I went to uni, so I've done 2 degrees. I did a degree in medical sciences and then did dentistry afterwards. And during my medical science degree, I had 2 left feet, and I was like, nah, I need to. I'm the sort of person, and this is my personality type. If I'm not good at something, I want to grab it by the horns and get at least okay at it. So I couldn't dance. I was really shy, whatever. And I found out about a dance class within the university. It wasn't really the style I was going for. It was a bit more body rolly and somewhat feminine, and that's not really my bag. So I was like, no, I'm not into this. And then I found out about, because I was in Birmingham, I found out about a session that used to go on bi-weekly, which was for beginners. And Rosie, bushy-eyed, medical science student goes into this place, and you go into this sort of hall, and there's some pretty rough looking people, like hats backwards, trousers at their ankles, and quite intimidating actually. And I've got this little student first year at uni, he's like, oh, I want to learn, and they're like, I don't think this is the place for you, mate. And they weren't like that at all, actually. And the great thing was about it, there was no judgments either side. Probably more on my side than it was theirs, because I was quite intimidated. I did some sessions and been doing it since, really.
Oh wow, fantastic.
So 2007. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. So Shiraz, before I leave you, is there one message that you'd like to leave our audience with to inspire them in the future?
Yeah, I mean, so we started off talking about being in dentistry top 50 and how these things are really important for profile and these sorts of things. I think one thing I'd say to everyone that's involved, because we're a social media generation, and I myself am a very much avid user of social media, etc. But I'd say that just within reason, really put focus on what it is that you're trying to achieve in terms of your craft, your aspirations for life. Unfortunately, social media creates this imaginary world sometimes where people think it's a high fly. I mean, people get warped into it almost. And I was feeling like that for a while, and I was feeling like I was having to post every so often, and I lost followers because I wasn't posting very often, because I'm not fitting the algorithm, whatever, and all that stuff. And I just sat back and thought to myself, and again in COVID, it's like, okay, it's really important to keep active, but don't make your life around what you want other people to see. Make your life about what you want it to be, and what you aspire for, whether that's familial, financial, whatever your goals are. It's totally okay if you want to be financially free. I don't, sometimes talking about finance in dentistry is a bit of a taboo subject. You can't really But realistically, whatever it is that drives you to become successful in whatever it is you want to apply yourself, and even if that success is, I just want to go to work 9 to 5 and live a happy life, that's success. Success does not mean winning an award or owning a really high earning practice. Success just means, what is it that makes you happy? And that's a successful life for me. So that's just a small note that I'd like to leave everyone with.
Yeah,
but
amazing.
Congratulations on your hard work, Nicki. You've been doing some great stuff on social and in the background, and it's a pleasure to be invited.
Oh, thank you. And I think the theme that's running through all the interviews I've done so far is that everybody's so passionate about what they do. Yeah, they're just so passionate.
Yeah.
For me, I think success is exactly what you say. It's finding that one thing that every morning you get up, you're so looking forward to doing, and you know, going to work isn't going to work. It's all about being happy, and you love what you do.
And there's a famous job from Steve quotes: "The only way to do great work is love what you do." God rest his soul. And I have that on my lectures every time I finish a lecture.
Yeah.
So, you know, to make a life where you enjoy what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're not happy, change it, because we're the only ones who can control our own destinies, aren't we?
That's exactly it, isn't it? That's exactly it.
It is. Well, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. I would, you know, let's hope we can meet face to face one day, you know, when we get back to conference.
I look forward to it. I'm vaccinated now, so apparently I'm protected. So, yeah, me too. So I look forward to catching up soon. Yeah, great. So we should meet up soon.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, and many congratulations again. Have a lovely, lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Okay.
You too, Nicki.
Bye. Bye.